Hey, what's up everybody? This is Mark from BigBlueLaserDesigns, and today I'm here to walk you through the file for this 4x7 decorative box that has a rose on it. We're going to start by going through the text up here like we always do, and then we'll work our way through all the pieces. I also want to note that this photo here is here for this particular video, but it's not actually in the file. However, it is in the marketing photos folder for you as well. So we're just going to use this as a reference while we walk through the pieces of this file. So let's start with the text up here. It says that all black lines are cut and red lines are score. You'll see throughout the file there's a couple red lines for score. You want to make sure you actually cut those and score those, do not cut those. And your software may change the colors, but you just need to know which lines are cut and which lines are score. And this file is made for 1/8" material or 0.125 material. If your material is significantly different from that, you're going to want to make some edits to it to make sure that it fits before you start, but it is made for 1/4" material. One other important thing here is that this square is included and it's supposed to be exactly 1 inch. If you click on that and find that it's not 1 inch, that means that your software has changed the size of something here, and you're going to want to edit that before you do anything because it'll be the wrong size. Now, I recommend that if you're using something like Lightburn, that you use the AI or the PDF formats instead of the SVG, because, for example, an SVG could be 2 different DPIs depending on what program was used to make it in the first place. Like Inkscape, I believe, is 96 DPI, and I think that Illustrator is 72. So in your settings for Lightburn, you're going to need to either make sure that your SVG settings are on Illustrator, or again, I recommend that you use the AI or PDF instead of an SVG. All right, so now that we've covered that, let's take a look over here. We're going to start on the left side. I'll walk you through the parts. I'm going to point out the parts on this photo as well. So these first 4 pieces are the inside layer of the box. This box has an inside layer and an outside layer, just like all of this series of decorative boxes do. The white in this case, over here in this photo, is the inside layer, and that's the 2 short sides and the 2 long sides. And then the bottom is over here. That's this piece right here. So these just build on top of that bottom to make this box. And then you have right here, this is this black trim ring that's right here that goes on top of the box. And I want to point out something extremely important. This inside piece, when you cut this, that's left over, that is not scrap. So do not throw that away, and don't cut any other pieces out of this. That piece right there goes on the bottom side of the lid. That piece is this white piece on this lid right here. And the black rose layer is this one right here. And what's going on here is you'll cut this, it'll end up looking just like that. And there's a score line right here. This is we're looking at the bottom side of this lid. And this inside rectangle will glue right inside those red score lines right there, giving you this result. Okay, so do not cut anything out of this piece, and make sure that you keep it and don't throw it away because it's the inside of the lid. And then these pieces here are, what you imagine, these are the outside, the 2 long pieces, and the 2 short pieces there, which is the short end right here and the long side there. And then this piece is the bottom, which I can't show you, but you can imagine that's how that works. And then you've got these couple optional pieces over here. None of these are required. I don't have them in the photo, but you could use this and cut this and put it on top of the lid, and it would go right here, like right on the outside. And it would be a nice look for a trim ring on the top, but it is not required. And then you have one other option, or a kind of a pair of options here. If you would like to make the rose a dimensional piece that sits on top like this right here, and cut it maybe out of a different kind of material, you could do that if you wanted to. And you could also take the inside pieces and cut those out of different kinds of material too. So you can imagine, instead of cutting it out like this, where the inside pieces are gone, like you see on this piece right here, you would substitute this lid and this rose for this one. In other words, don't cut this one, just cut these 2 here, okay? And again, the red line is there for the inside piece as well. Now, and here's another option for you. There's lots of options here. If you would like to inlay different materials inside those areas that come out, you can do that both in this version or in this one, whichever you want. And I separated, just to make it easier for you, I separated all those pieces here so that you could cut those out of different materials or maybe paint them, whatever you want, and put them back in either right here or right here, whichever look you're going for. And you could also do the same with the short and long sides here if you wished. And you can see that on the flower version of this box that I did. You'll see that in the pictures there. But these pieces are just the inside shapes here that if you wanted to paint them separately, you could. Now, when you cut this side piece, of course, there's going to be pieces that fall out. You could actually use those pieces and paint them and put them back in if you're cutting this from something like MDF, for example. But if you're cutting it from something like True Flat and maybe it's black, you can't, of course, paint those inside pieces any other color. So that's why I provided the loose pieces down here for the two long sides and then the two short sides. Those are completely optional. Don't do this. Don't cut those if you don't want to, but that's what they're there for. So that's all the pieces to the file, and you can choose how you'd like those to go together. Let me know if you have any questions. I'd love to help you, and of course, take a look at the photos as references because that will help you out a lot.